push the right button, it'd help. Good evening and welcome to tonight's Cabinet meeting. Just some housekeeping before we start. If there's no plans for a fire alarm test this evening, but if the alarm does sound, please make your way out of the chamber as quickly and safely as possible. I'd be grateful if everyone could put their mobile phones on silent for the duration of the meeting. Start by asking Cabinet members to introduce themselves and then our officer team. But I just want to make two announcements first of all. There's going to be a change to Cabinet membership going forward. Liz McInnes, as many people will know, is going to become our mayor later this month, and her place on Cabinet has been taken by Michelle Smith. So she will cover communities and the health and wellbeing and leisure portfolio. Samara Barnes is also joining us, and she will pick up planning committees and working groups. And Samara is with us tonight. So I'll start with the introductions and then we'll go over to Nick. My name's Alison Barnes and I'm the leader of the council here in Rossendale. Nick.
Good evening, I'm Nick Harris, I'm lead member for Economic Development.
Adrian Lithgow, lead member for Environment.
Samara Barnes, lead member for planning, working groups and committees.
Yeah. Let's not be tested on some of these. Rob, do you want to start us off in terms of your introduction?
Rob Huntington, Chief Executive.
Claire Birtwhistle, Head of Legal.
David Smurthwaite, Director of Economic Development.
Kimberly Howarth, Head of Finance.
Andy Taylor, Head of Environmental Services.
Thanks very much, everybody. If I could just remind people to speak into the microphones tonight as well, because we are streaming the meeting. Right, that takes us to the agenda. A1, apologies for absence. Andrew Walmsley has given his apologies. He's not with us this evening, as has Michelle Smith. Minutes of the last meeting, and the last meeting was held on the 18th of March. I'll move the minutes. I'm just going to ask for a seconder. Thank you, Nick. Could I ask all members to show in favour of those minutes? Thank you very much. Urgent items is at A3, and I say there's no urgent items of business on this evening's agenda. A4, declarations of interest. Just occurred to me that I haven't looked myself at the agenda on that level. Could I ask if there are any expressions of interest this evening? No, and I don't have any interest to declare either. That takes us very swiftly on to B1, public question time, and we do not have anybody in attendance at the meeting this evening, which I always think is a great pity. I'm sure it's an interesting half hour. C1, Chair's update, and this is from the Chair of Overview and Scrutiny, and I think that meeting was chaired by Danielle last time. Overview and Scrutiny Committee met on the 30th of March and considered Q3 performance report and the temporary accommodation task and finish group report, and no recommendations have come through in terms of actions following that for Cabinet. D1 is funding proposal. Nick, are you going to move this report?
Thanks, Chair. I'll come on to the detail of the report in a minute, which is essentially to grant £60,000 to Plus24 Marketing Limited for some work on the development of our digital hub and the co-working space. I think we need to put this in context of a number of initiatives that we've been taking as a council to develop our economic strength in the borough. In the last few weeks, through the council and Pride in Place board, we put additional funding into some of the arts, into the leisure strategy, We've got Rosendale Works now actively on Stag Hills Estate and on Edgeside with some of that funding as we do what we can to improve the employment prospects for people working in the borough. This report very much ties into that. Some time ago now, we got what was then LUF funding. It's now regeneration funding, as these things change their name, for a bridge project, which was to develop a digital hub in the borough. We haven't been able to find quite what we want to take that forward, but this is the third funding decision that we've taken as initial steps. We've had Northern Reach from Lancaster working down here, developing some networking in the borough, and the feedback from those who've been involved has been positive. I think it was our last cabinet meeting or the one before, we granted money to ABD and Bacup to do some initial training with East Lancs Learning, as they now are, what used to be the college. This proposal is to develop work with Plus24, which works out of the lovely titled Old Milk Depot down on Bacup Road, which is actually quite a smart modern building. The company has moved in from Burnley. It's an IT company, and they're very keen to develop networking and co-working in the borough using the ground floor. The feedback we have is that there are a number of new high-tech or higher-tech businesses in the borough who would be interested in taking part in this project, and we will wait and see if that works as the next stage of a rollout of making sure that we've got the ability to support people in the high-tech field in the borough. There are some co-working spaces, among the feedback being that they're generally fairly well used, so this would be additional capacity. The idea is that they'll convert the downstairs into, and I should say for those who weren't, Alison and myself went and had a look on Monday. I'm quite impressed with the setup. There will be a number of spaces, soundproof booths for confidential discussion, desks, places people can brew up, meet. The co-working concept is very much developing a community where you might be, and one of the ones I saw up in Northern Reach, somebody who started off developing an app for EV charging stations, started off doing a couple of hours working in the space, and they're now still in the same building, but with 5 employees, which is quite an impressive progress. And the idea, for those who haven't been involved in this before, is that you might be developing something like that and find you need expertise in marketing, digital accounts, and hopefully the people in the building who are going through that same stage as you, moving out of the spare bedroom, starting off, booking some space in the co-working space, will get to know somebody who can help you or you can help them. The concept will be that we will fund some of the fit out and also some of the staffing to give support to those who are moving in who will pay a monthly fee, hopefully working up to be about 20 desk spaces, possibly up to 40 people will be able to share the space. So that's an outline, a small project, but another step forward. If this works, we do already have proposals through Pride in Place for stage 2, which would be for the second phase of Pride in Place. So if I need to move, if I can find it on my, find it on the, scroll down. I'll just find the actual recommendation, otherwise we'll admit it the wrong thing. We're being asked to approve a grant of £60,000, as said, to Plus24 Marking Limited for modification equipment and a procured partner to turn the ground floor of the old milk depot in Rawtenstall into a digital hub and co-working space for the financial year 26-27. To delegate to the head of legal and governance, Section 151 officer and director of economic development, in consultation with the lead member of economic development, that's myself, and resources, which is Andrew Walmsley, to agree the heads of terms for the grant funding agreement with Plus24.
Okay, thanks very much, Nick. Any questions, members? No? I would also add that they've got filming provision there as well, haven't they? They've got, yeah, quite. It's absolutely cracking space. Not massive, but you can see it being the start of something, I suppose. So very practical place-based investment from this administration, and a modest investment as well, really, at £60,000. Samara.
It was more of a comment than a question, just to say that I really support something like this. There's a lot of people who work from home and have done for a long time, and need that space for the connection and to stop loneliness and everything that comes with being a lone worker. So I think, as well as the obvious benefits of being able to connect on a professional level, I think there's definitely something to be said about the other sorts of connections people can make in those working spaces as well.
And very much a community kind of based initiative as well. Very keen to link with the community. I mean, the team there go on walks together. They go to the market and eat at the market, you know, so they're very keen on the area and see lots of benefits of actually being based in Rawtenstall, which is great. Any further questions, members? No? I think we're absolutely delighted to second that report and ask members to show in support. Thank you. D2 is the adoption of alterations and extensions to residential properties and supplementary planning document. I will move this report and speak to it, Samara. Don't worry. Okay, so members, this report seeks approval to adopt the updated alterations and extensions to residential properties supplementary planning document for use in determining all relevant householder planning applications. The existing SPD dates back to 2008 and needs updating to reflect changes in national policy. And our adopted local plan particularly relates to policy HS9, which is house extensions, and ENV1, which is around high quality development. We consulted on the draft policy for 4 weeks from the 12th of February to the 15th of March. And received 17 responses from statutory consultees, Growth Lancashire and residents. Overall, the design principles were supported and we've made targeted revisions where people raised particular issues. The key changes include more flexible guidance on outbuildings, limited flexibility for family annexes where an overnight carer is evidenced, allowing like-for-like replacement garages in front gardens, and strengthening guidance on permeable surfaces. And there's more on sustainable drainage, utility, heritage, etc. This is there is a small risk of challenge post-adoption, but this is outweighed by the need to have a clearer, up-to-date guidance to protect amenity and secure high-quality design. So I therefore commend the report to Cabinet and ask for the report to be seconded. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments, members? No, we have seen this a couple of times during different iterations around the consultation, so I can understand that. Okie doke. In that case, I will ask members to show in support. Thank you. That takes us on to D3, which is the reactive repairs framework tender. Adrian, over to you.
All right, thank you very much indeed, and thanks to Claire for putting the report together. It's not a page turner really, but it's an important piece of work. It's only come in here because it's got a value of over £100,000, so it needs to go through Cabinet. So basically, we're seeking agreement to go out for tender for a new 4-year framework agreement and so requires Cabinet responsibility the support. It requested acceptance of the management when they tenders when they come in to be delegated to head of people and policy and portfolio holder. The current value of this project is around £450,000. I think some positives about the process. It gives equal opportunity to companies of all different sizes. So it's open, available for parts of it, at least in parts, different parts, to small companies as well as larger companies, as long as they provide appropriate insurance, indemnities, H&S policies, etc. So I think it's good. It gives people, local businesses, opportunity to apply for different parts of this, and the details are attached in the report. So happy to answer any questions on it, but it's simply replacing what we've already had in place for a number of years now. And I think it's good because it does provide opportunity for local businesses as well. It's open to everybody really, with the right sort of piece of paper in place.
Okay, thanks, Adrian. I'll second that report. Have members got any questions regarding the report? As with everything, we're looking to promote and publicise items on the agenda this evening, either through direct releases to the press or through social media, because it is good to get this kind of information out there so people, local people can tender. Okay, so could I ask for members to show? Thank you, showing support. Thank you very much. E1 is the performance management report Q3. Adrian, over to you again.
Thank you. Again, thanks to Claire and team for putting this report together. It's very detailed, and I think it's in a form which just makes it easy to sort of interpret the information and pick out the highlights. So going through it very briefly, if we look at the summary sheets with the arrows, etc., there is slight misprinting on the arrows. So one arrow's on the first table, one line high, too high. So ignore the arrows on that, on the performance on thriving local economy, because the arrows have all shot up one, ironically. So I think it's mixed in this aspect, I suppose. But a lot of these things, there's not a huge amount that the council can do about some of these things. There are many things outside their control to a certain extent. So things like percentage of empty shops is stable, but again, there are all sorts of factors at play there. And the only one that's red is unemployment. And again, there's not a huge amount the council can do directly to influence that. So I think overall, I think it's a reasonable balance on that one, with some of the things outside the council's control, unless anybody's got any comments on that particular set of indicators to thriving local economy. Okay. So we move on to high quality environment. I think this is very positive. I really think particularly for operations, really, who've been through a lot of change, but overall it does read very well. I think what we need to do is perhaps think about, as we move forward now with food waste, that perhaps we need to include some indicator of that, because I think that's going to pose a major challenge within the valley, really. But I think in terms of what the operations team have done, I mean, if you looked at the stuff that's gone out on paper online, I think it is very, very attractive, easy to read. I think it's good. But it does represent a major shift for people, really. So we've had all sorts of queries about what happens in this particular set of circumstances. And I think the team have responded well to that. We've got some staff available now who'll be able to go out and help individuals in different, say, some of the homes, etc., some of the flats where it's more complicated. So it is a major challenge, but I think we started off well in terms of it's been introduced fairly smoothly. I think the material that's gone out has been very clear. It's a complicated message, and a lot of people are don't feel comfortable with the recycling, I think, really. So it does represent a major change. But I think they've done a good job in what they've done. And I don't think in that table there are anything that stands out as a particular issue. The one thing that does get a red rating is satisfactory cleanliness of Rossendale areas. And again, that's from the resident survey. But I think a lot of that probably relates to things like fly tipping, etc., which is there's not a huge amount we can do about that apart from help clear it up afterwards. It does happen, it does blight the borough. a lot of it's coming from outside the borough, it's just been dumped in our boundaries, even in sort of fairly remote areas. So it's a constant challenge, but it doesn't necessarily reflect on the work the team are doing. I think it's just, I suppose, the way in which society is based at the moment, and certain people will fly tip and certain companies will fly tip just to save money. But overall, I think very positive, really. I think it does read well, certainly from an operations point of view, in terms of the vast number of interactions they have with the public. So
It's certainly our strongest performing service area, isn't it? And the fly tipping response is up. It's gone. It's 3.9 days now, which is tremendous, really. Where are we up to with the street sweepers? Andy, I'm looking at you,
Yeah.
although Adrian may well know.
No, we have purchased the new street sweepers, so they were sort of started in service this financial year. So they'll start hopefully to have the impact in the Q1 reporting coming through.
Good news.
I think the other thing to mention as well is the work in the cemeteries, really. I think that was a major challenge in terms of having to deal with sort of some that were unstable. But I think if you look now at some of the cemeteries, I think the team have done a really good job, like Haslingden a few days ago, and that looks really nice now, I think. So I think they have done a really good job under difficult circumstances. So again, I think that is very positive, the way that those have been sort of repaired and made look nice again, I think, really. Going on, healthy and proud communities. Again, a sort of mixed picture. I think some of the things in there are a little bit outside our control. Challenges, food hygiene complaints, initial response to housing complaints. So one or two areas, and those I think we do need to address. Other things which are slightly more difficult for us to deal with, I think, really, as an organisation. So I haven't really got anything particular to say about any of those, unless anybody's got any questions.
Can I just...
Yeah.
On the healthy and proud communities, there's a couple of sentences in there that talks about the £60,000 per annum for 2 years, secured via the Asylum Dispersal Grant to strengthen refugee and asylum seeker integration support. Forgive me if I'm misunderstanding this, but I know that there's conversations happening at Lancashire County Council regarding coming out of some work with asylum seekers. Will this be affected by any decisions that they make, or will we still be able to support asylum seekers and refugees here?
We're still planning to, but Adrian will give a
what
fuller
they've
answer.
done at County Hall is a resettlement grant, which is a different thing. So that's people like the Afghans who came. It's a bit sad, really, because very often some of those actually fought with the British Army. That's why they're here and things. So it's not a great thing to cancel, really, I don't think. But it won't affect what we can do with people here who are allocated to come and live in Rosendale. It's those people under specific schemes, which, and to be honest, I mean, they're quite small in number now, really. Those schemes are sort of gradually sort of diminishing.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying.
It's an unkind thing to do. I'm not sure about the motivation for doing it, because it doesn't actually make any difference to anybody else. But
I think we're all really clear about the motivation for doing it, Adrian. It's got absolutely nothing to do with.
I think that's probably the case.
Yeah. And the reality is it's funding that's given by central government for some of our statutory obligations around people, frankly, and legal obligations around people.
It's not going to achieve anything.
No, it's not.
I just
You can.
thank Adrian for his introduction. Just so that everybody who might be listening in or looking in, this is Q3's report. We're actually we've had Q4, and things have moved on. So just to give some comfort to anybody who's thinking we've got some things that are red in RAG rating, that those of us around this table and the officers will have been dealing with some of those, and some, like the Dearden Gate building work, which referred to as being finished and looks as though it's been a success and welcome. So just to ease people's minds, we're not being rather casual about this. We will have been dealing with those items which appear to be problematic in between the end of December and this meeting, which is, I mean, it's 5 months now, isn't it, since the initial report. and it's been to ONS in between, as you said, Alison, in March. So we are seeking to be on top of those issues where we are worried.
Yeah, so I just thanks, Nick, for mentioning that. Yeah, it is one of the factors really that the town centres are finished now. So hopefully people go like that.
I will pick it up directly with our chief exec in terms of how we can make this process a bit more dynamic. It's hopeless, isn't it? If we're too far, too far away from, you know, it's absolutely no use at all, is it? So we will pick that up directly.
It's I suppose it's how performance is both reported and managed across the authority, and because there's a lag in the quarters, I think the most important thing for us to consider when we're looking at this report is what are we doing about it, and the impact that will have in the following quarter, really, because we are talking about things that have happened in the previous quarters. I think the other thing we do need to consider when we're talking about this is what is the outturn from last year, what is the target that we've got, and actually what is the direction of travel, which is obviously the arrows, effectively. Because on thriving local economy, things like Rossendale Works are really supporting getting people into jobs and employment through enhancing their confidence and their skills, and that continues to deliver some fantastic results. Generally the GVA in Rossendale is up based on of businesses. The productivity of businesses is ahead of where we were last year and is promising. The regeneration works are ongoing to challenge some of these particular areas, although one of the things we have picked up is the ongoing challenge we have with utility companies, and it's not only roadworks, it's the impact on regeneration schemes where they decide to dig up a brand new public realm and put tarmac down. So these are things that are ongoing challenges. And I think under Healthy and Proud Communities, we talked about high quality environment, some really good stuff happening there, and we've been able to introduce our response to the new legislation around food waste fantastically, actually, and ahead of other local authorities in Lancashire. But I think under Healthy and Proud Communities, one of the things we will probably need to consider next quarter is, we've got the lift evidence work that we can use to target individuals that need support. We've got the resilience fund now, which is starting to be implemented. Are we targeting the right people in the right way? And hopefully we can start to see the impact of some of that going forward in the next quarter. We have reported in here that we've processed through the previous household support fund 497 crisis applications and supported over nearly 1,700 households through food vouchers, etc. That's starting again within this period, so we'll need to pick that up as we move forward. But unfortunately, we need to think about how we capture some of this in a better way to report to you as Cabinet and to our scrutiny. And I think that the key thing is look at the arrows. If they're the wrong way, then something needs to be done about it. If they're the right way and the green, then we'll keep doing it.
Yeah. And even the trouble with the arrow system is also it does reflect other things outside our control at times as well, doesn't it? So it's how you interpret that and sort of make it make sense to people, and rather than something being wrong, it could be all right. It's on its way.
It could.
Just a reflection from looking at this on overview and scrutiny as well. I think there are some KPIs that we've set ourselves that we miss regularly, and we've queried whether they're actually the right figures, or if we're almost cancelling ourselves out by it. Not aiming too high. We should always aim high, but whether they're actually achievable. So I think that's something to think about as well.
Yeah, it is. It's a good point. When you're measuring performance, if you set the target too high, they're never going to meet you. If you say too low, it's too easy. So it's getting it right. And judging by the way these things fluctuate from time to time, it does seem like they are roughly, most of them, in the right order of magnitude, really.
I'm always just looking for that one piece of paper that tells me everything I need to know, not the everything.
It's the dashboard.
It is the dashboard. And and sometimes it's not even a pretty dashboard, is it? It's just in big letters what you need to worry about. So so that's a conversation probably. But I think it is mixed, really, and some things are out of our control. The staffing situation at the moment is a challenge, as particularly as we go towards LGR. You know, we're losing people. We know for a fact we're not going to replace them during that very small window we've got before things change. So that is an ongoing challenge for us as an organisation, and that is bound to impact on the performance of our council. But you know, there are some real highlights like the food waste stuff that has been tremendous, I think, and really well received by residents. On the whole, yeah, of course. But it's great seeing those little vans bobbing about the place. It's, I think it's a really good initiative, and you can see from your own the waste you're not producing yourself, or you're not putting in the green bin yourself, just how effective it is. So I'm impressed with it all. So I think that's a real achievement over the last few weeks and months.
I think the staff do deserve recognition for that, because some of the written material was very creative as well, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It's great stuff. So there's as ever, you know, what I always come back to is that the amount of things that we're doing as a district council that we have to do. We've got no choice to do but to do them, and then everything else we choose to do. So just so much going on in this borough.
So I was just going to do a very quick update. If David will know, we've signed off the South Gyratory contract. Yeah. So, which is one that's been, we will report on it about August, I think, that we've done it, but we are now ready to roll. So just a bit of an update.
Good news, but doesn't fit in this item. News.
The next quarter.
It will be. Okay, so I will second this report and ask members to show in support if we've finished with comments. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, that actually, we do have one further item, but I need to ask the committee to support excluding the public and press so that we can read that item. So I will ask, I will move that we do that. And ask for a seconder and ask for the committee to show in support. Thank you for that. And I will thank everybody who's joined us on the live stream tonight for taking the trouble. And of course, if there is anything you're curious about and want more information, do get in touch with us. We'll be happy to give you that information. Thank you.